How would you, as Prime Minister, deal with Washington under Biden or Trump?
I think we all agree that it is not in Canada's interests to be running our foreign affairs in lockstep with the United States. The craven following of the Trump administration, I think, has been one of the huge weaknesses in the Trudeau government's record. I have to say, though, that managing Trump is a very difficult proposition. And so I would say that Chrystia Freeland, as our foreign minister, did a remarkable job in difficult situations. And we should recognize that as Greens as well, when people exceed expectations.
I'm surprised to hear that Chrystia Freeland is an example that we should all follow. Shortly after she was appointed foreign minister, the U.S. Embassy in Ottawa sent a cable to Washington saying that Canada had adopted an America First foreign policy. And that's precisely what we did under Chrystia Freeland. There's no better example of this than the Canadian government's slavish approach to the situation in Venezuela.
Well, as someone who was a journalist at the Real News Network, a not-for-profit organization, I'm very sensitive to this question. It means a great deal to me. We have a great deal of concentration in the media. We need to break up these massive media companies. We need to get out of a system that prioritizes media profits over the dissemination of the truth. That means we need much more public funding of media organizations. Until we fix the problem of the media in this country, which is not giving the citizens the information they need, we will not have a full, robust democracy.
First, it begins with personal responsibility. You know, they're one of the worst and most pernicious sources of misinformation are just people jumping on their laptops and putting it out there. I think that we have a great deal of housekeeping and house cleaning to do within our own party in that regard. We need to be reflecting values internally that we're preaching externally. You know, we're never going to stay fully ahead of the technology, and so people taking personal responsibility, thinking of the impact, and educating, you know, themselves and others about why their words make a difference is very, very important.
My question is, downtown Montreal is home to many corporations, including Air Canada, Pfizer Canada, Rio Tinto, Alcan, all of which are listed as top employers in Montreal by CanadaTop100.com. You've been very vocal about confronting Canada's corporate sector. I believe that this messaging will not win a general election and will push away many voters in Montreal. How do you think you can be so critical of corporations and still win those voters who rely on those corporate jobs?
Great, thanks. Dimitri.
Well, first of all, the headquarters are here, but I'm quite confident the vast majority of people who work in those headquarters don't live in my particular riding. But that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is that, as Naomi Klein has argued, as has been amply demonstrated by historical experience, it is the corporate sector that is blocking meaningful change in order to address the climate emergency. That's just the reality, and we have to come to terms with that. They do it through a variety of ways. They do it by manipulating the political system to their will, by manipulating the legal system to their will. The billionaire class has a stranglehold on our media, huge concentration of the media, which is doing a disservice to the public in terms of alerting us to the severity of this crisis and the means to resolve it. They're resisting a carbon tax, a robust carbon tax. They're resisting any kind of real plan to phase out the fossil fuels industry. This is the reality we confront. And if we don't resolve that, we aren't going to get there, Andrew. The fact of the matter is we know what the solutions are.